Hi everyone, I'm Jerry, and I was just sent this really cool all-in-one swimming pool pump. Now this is a variable speed pump, meaning it's got two separate speeds, a high and a low. So let me go ahead and open this up and show you what is in the box and also explain why I like this unit. So thank you guys for sending it to me. Inside here you've got all the parts you're going to need to attach this in. So you've got your cover here, which has got a nice see-through, and they even give you a nice key that you can use to tighten and untighten that. You have adapters that they provide you with, not only the 2-inch adapters, but also some 2.5-inch adapters. So if you have a larger size pipe, they do provide you with those, as well as the seals that go in each of those, a grounding cable that you can attach in. And then the rest of this is actually all just in a single unit. So let me go ahead and pull this out here. So this is a really nice, solid, well-built pump. I can tell just by looking at it. Everything in here is all sealed up really nice and well. You do have your standard 110 or 120 volt plug. It's really a thick plug that is on this. This is a 60 hertz plug. And this variable speed has the two speeds here. So it has the high speed, which will put out over 5,186 gallons per hour out of this, or you can switch it to low speed, and the switches here on the back switch it from high to low. If you want to switch it to low speed, it'll still do almost 2,600 gallons per hour. So it's going to put out quite a bit, but if you're going to be gone on vacation or something, or maybe in the evening, and when you get ready to use it, a lot of kids in the pool, you can crank it up. That's really great. It does have a very large skimmer basket. These skimmer baskets are nice because they only go in the one way. And so it has a large opening on this side, but it's going to hold a lot of junk, leaves, and debris in there, so it's not going to push that back into your pool. And then these adapter pieces, with these, again, with these little built-in seals here, they send you with a couple extras for that. Real easy. Screw those on like that. Tighten them down, and those are going to seal on real well and get you ready to attach on whatever adapters you need to fit your pool. This is the 2-inch adapter I'm going to be using here. I'm going to be throttling that down to work on my pool. If you had a larger pipe pool, you obviously can use the 2.5-inch. Again, there's the extra little silicone things you can hang on to for that. And then you also have your topper piece. I like the fact that you can do this manually like I do on my current one. You can just lock it closed, but they do send you with this additional key. If maybe you don't have quite enough oomph, you can use that to lock it in place or unlock it. So I do really like that. That makes it seem like more like a commercial type pool. So all in all, everything seems to be held really well. What I'm going to do now is go out and install this, and then we'll give it a test. So I'm out here at the pool getting ready to replace my 3/4 horsepower little pump here with this big boy here, this 2 horsepower pump. It's got a bigger, deeper basket. It's going to have more power, and it does have that adjustable speed for the low and the high, which I absolutely am loving. First step I'm going to do is I've got to block off these holes because we currently have our pool full. So I'm going to actually be blocking that off to then let the water drain out of these lines so that I can then work with it. If you're setting this up on a brand new setup, you wouldn't have to worry about doing this. But since I've already had this running, I'm going to block this off, and then we'll get this thing drained out. So now we're ready to go ahead and attach this on. It's really nice that they give you these options of the 2-inch or the 2.5-inch. I'm going to go ahead and use the 2-inch, and I did have to purchase 2 different pieces to be able to adapt it on to my current fittings. Now you could easily just use straight pipe and connect this in there if you wanted to do that. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is get this thing prepped here and get some get the primer on there. And we're going to go ahead and get this put on there and get it fitted together. Then I'm going to go ahead and use this primer again, and we're going to put it on the inside of this here again. This just preps everything, and I'm going to do the same thing on here as well. It just kind of cleans everything up and gets it prepped. And then then we're going to use this glue here. It's an all-purpose cement. We're going to put this on here to fuse these two together. So we'll wipe that around in there and get that pushed down on there. And that'll seal that in there like that. So once you get those put on there, again, you've got your rubberized seal on the inside of this piece here. We're going to go ahead and attach this on to the end here and get it tightened down. And then we'll be ready to go ahead and mount the fitting. Now I'm going to go ahead and attach on, this is the piece that came off my old pumps and hoses. Now I'm just going to go ahead and crank it down on there. It has a rubberized seal too. So I'm going to go ahead and get that put on both here and on the top as well. And now I'm ready to connect the pump. So to connect this in, I'm just going to simply connect it in like I did the old one. Back in there again, and tighten it down with this worm drive clamp. And that'll hold that on there nice and snug. And then I'm going to go ahead and move this onto a set of blocks so that I can get it mounted for here. Now for this top one, I'm just going to put the old fitting back over that as well and get that shoved down on there. And then we'll get the worm drive clamp tightened down and fire it up. I've got it plugged in. That's gone ahead and filled up a little bit in there, probably just enough to prime it. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this on real briefly here. Make sure it gets good and primed. Now it's got to go ahead and get a little bit of the air out of the line. And it's got to get the air out of the filtration here. But once it gets all the air out of the line, this is obviously putting out a lot more power than was in there before. So it's still working out a few of the air bubbles, but I can already tell you right now, it's blowing out more power than our previous one on low mode than this one is. I mean, this one on low mode than the other one did all the time. And it's already just filtering through really well. This thing is whisper quiet, so I can barely hear this thing running, which is fantastic. Even though it's still, I can hear a little few of the bubbles still coming out of this sand filter. But when I kick this thing up into high gear, look, watch what happens with the water moving through here now. I mean, now we're moving some water through here, so you know that really is going to filter everything out, clean everything up really nice. It's still really quiet. Not as quiet as on low, but this should do a really nice job and last for many years and really produce some nice crystal clear water. Thank you guys again for sending it.